Another thing that's been going on the net about Hulk Hogan is a lot of black wrestlers stating quotes, and actually wrestlers in general stating quotes on and saying, we should stop, commenting on Hulk Hogan's past with his negativity and his, racist remarks. I find it interesting. I don't know if I believe all of it. I don't know if I agree with all of them, because if one of the greatest wrestlers of all time is known as a big time racist, what does that do for their industry? You know what I'm saying? So there, you got to put that into that story. You got to factor that in. But here's a quote from Stevie Ray, who is Booker T's brother. Hulk Hogan was very important to me and my brother's career. He was always a good man to talk to. R.I.P. brother. Okay, so that's one quote. We have quotes from Mark Henry saying R.I.P. We also have a quote from Kevin Nash, where I posted this on my YouTube. You guys need to check that out because it's kind of like Facebook, low key. So I post things on there all the time. So here's some of his quotes. It says, Kevin Nash calls out black wrestlers for their two-faced comments after the passing of Hulk Hogan. I saw several black wrestlers when Terry was alive talk nothing but junk about him because of his comments, and I personally found it offensive. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Mark Henry. I think that's interesting because some of these people are now announcers and they're just talking heads. They're no longer in the wrestling game. They're not going to go and box or fight in the street. They're just talking. So I'm pretty sure he might have been talking about Mark Henry. And yeah, because Booker T has been talking good about Hogan. But back to the quote, it says, if you can get a pass because he's in the afterlife, then where's the line? How about his kids, man? Can you just lay off the man? Ain't nothing going to change now. These wrestlers who were very vocal against him a few years ago are now singing his praises. Yeah. So what do you think about that, chat? How do you feel about that one? This is from Kevin Nash. He has a podcast. Interesting stuff, man. Very interesting stuff. That's the quote right there. So my bad if I wasn't putting it up at the right time or what, blah, blah, blah. But I still think it's a valid quote. There's so many people coming out saying different things. People are going to talk. There's so many podcasts out that are saying different things, and they're trying to go back on how they felt and remixing it. I'm pretty sure Bret Hart's going to still be the same guy. We all know what Hulk Hogan meant to wrestling. In the 80s, he made it so popular that even after he had his lawsuit in the early 90s about steroid usage or, I don't know, choking Vince McMahon or something, I don't know. Wrestling was still pretty popular. It wasn't as popular as the 80s, but in the early 90s, it went down a little bit, and then in the mid 90s, it went back up, and then Hogan became a part of that. He was a part of the Attitude Era, and he revisited WWE, and then had a great third part of his career, because everybody thought that he was done. I thought he was done when he started fighting wrestling. Like Kurt Angle had a tag team title with Edge, had another championship run. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing.